Your dog might be sleeping right now, somewhere in the house, curled up while life goes on around them. And if you actually added up the hours, you might be shocked. Most owners assume a dog sleeping 12, 14, even 16 hours a day means something is wrong. But what if that number is not just normal? It is exactly what your dog's biology was built to do. And misunderstanding it might be costing your dog something important. 1. Your dog's sleep is not like yours. It is layered. Humans sleep in one long stretch and call it a day. Dogs do something completely different. Their sleep is broken into dozens of short cycles throughout a 24-hour period, light dozing mixed with deeper rest, mixed with brief waking moments to check their surroundings. Researchers studying canine sleep architecture have found that dogs spend significantly less time in deep, restorative sleep during any single stretch compared to humans, which means they need far more total hours to get the same restorative benefit. A dog sleeping 14 hours is not lazy. They are compensating for a sleep structure that is fundamentally lighter and more fragmented than ours. 2. Breed and age change the number dramatically, and most owners never adjust their expectations. A working breed in their prime, a border collie, an Australian shepherd, might need noticeably less sleep than a giant breed like a Great Dane or a Mastiff, whose bodies are quite literally carrying more weight and require more recovery time. Puppies can sleep up to 18 or even 20 hours a day, because their brains are undergoing massive development during every rest cycle. Senior dogs often creep back up toward that number too, not from illness necessarily, but because aging bodies simply require more repair time. If you are comparing your dog's sleep to some generic number you read once, you may be comparing them to a dog that looks nothing like yours. 3. Boredom sleep and rest sleep look identical, but they are not the same thing. This is where owners get it wrong most often. A dog with nothing to do, no mental stimulation, no enrichment, no reason to be awake and engaged, will often sleep simply because there is nothing else worth staying up for. Veterinary behaviorists have noted a pattern in understimulated dogs where excessive daytime sleep functions almost like a coping mechanism, a way of passing empty hours rather than a sign of restful recovery. The concerning part is that this kind of sleep does not actually restore a dog the way genuine rest does. It is closer to shutting down than recharging. A dog sleeping from boredom often wakes up just as understimulated as before they fell asleep. And if this is making you wonder how much of your own dog's sleep is genuine rest versus boredom shutdown, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. We cover what dog behavior actually means, not what we assume it means. What comes next explains one of the most overlooked signs that your dog's sleep pattern has actually shifted for a concerning reason. 4. Sudden changes in sleep amount matter more than the total number itself. This is the piece most owners miss entirely. It is not necessarily how much your dog sleeps that should concern you, it is whether that amount has changed. A normally active dog who suddenly starts sleeping several additional hours a day, seemingly out of nowhere, may be signaling something underlying, discomfort, early illness, or a shift in their emotional state. Veterinary research has consistently pointed to sudden increases in daytime sleep as one of the earliest, most subtle indicators owners tend to overlook. Precisely because a sleeping dog looks peaceful and does not seem like cause for concern, the baseline matters more than the raw number. What is normal for your specific dog is the real measurement, not a chart you found online. 5. Deep REM sleep is when your dog is doing more than resting, they are processing their entire day. You have probably seen your dog twitch, paddle their legs, or make small muffled sounds while sleeping. That is REM sleep, and it plays a critical role in memory consolidation and emotional processing, very similar to what happens in the human brain during dreaming. Interrupting a dog during this stage, waking them abruptly, moving them, startling them, does more than annoy them in the moment. Researchers studying sleep disruption in domestic animals have found that dogs who are frequently woken during REM cycles show elevated stress responses and slower learning retention compared to dogs allowed to complete their sleep cycles undisturbed. Your dog is not simply switched off during those twitching moments. They are actively working through everything the day gave them. Here is what ties all of this together. Sleep for your dog is not downtime in the way we often think of it. It is a biological necessity, shaped by a completely different rhythm than our own, influenced by breed, age, mental stimulation, and emotional state. And it is one of the clearest windows into your dog's overall well-being. If you know what you are actually looking at, the number of hours matters less than most owners think. What matters is whether that number fits your specific dog, whether it has shifted without explanation, and whether your dog is getting real, undisturbed rest rather than sleep born out of boredom or something being wrong. So the next time you catch your dog sleeping again, resist the urge to assume they are simply lazy or that something is off. Ask instead whether this is their normal rhythm, whether they seem mentally engaged during their waking hours, and whether anything about their pattern has quietly shifted. That question tells you far more than the hours on a clock ever could. If this changed the way you think about your dog's sleep, hit like. Drop a comment telling us roughly how many hours a day your dog sleeps. And subscribe, because the more we understand what our dogs are actually telling us, even while they rest, the closer we get to them.